Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Racing Series Grand Prix here in Hungary. It feels so good to be back, and I'm alongside the incredibly talented Falsetti Time. How you doing?
Just realised I was deafened. Sorry about that.
I was like, hello? You are here. You are
I
alive.
am here. We are live. Welcome
How
back
you doing?
into the hot seat, Mr. McConnell, Raggy.
The man.
How does it feel? Out of the saddle and back into the perch, let's say.
I feel, so for those of you who don't know why, basically I was actually racing in the European Racing Series in Tier 2, but I am rubbish. I'm absolutely awful, to put it plainly. So I basically just stepped out of the seat, back into the commentary box, thought I'll stick to something that I'm actually decent at. Even if I do say so myself. And on top of that, I actually really wanted to deliver some top quality racing again. So seeing these guys going at it toe to toe, and I'm sure you'll be able to fill me in on the bits I've missed. I mean, so there are some new faces in comparison to when I was last here, but the majority of the people here are people I still recognise from before. Has Beaker got good yet?
Nope.
No?
He's okay. It's he's a safe bet for a top 5 finish. Not having the best luck. But there'll be absolutely no surprise when you find out that Mizzo is kind of dominating the championship.
Yeah, fair play.
It was a great early run from Julian, but he dropped off massively, and he's now sort of just lost his interest, I think.
I mean, that does happen to people, to be honest. When you come into racing like this, it's one of those sort of things that if you don't... that's a mistake from Beaker.
Speaking of Beaker.
Yeah. So I've just answered my own question, I think, right? No, is the answer.
Yeah.
Not quite, not yet.
Not had his fair share of luck.
Definitely not. Now, we do actually have a hot lap, which I'm going to quickly put on screen now, from you yourself in the car of the Mercedes, I believe.
Yes.
Do you want to do the rundown, or do you want me to?
I haven't got it to hand, so you can do the rundown.
Well, here we go then. This is the home straight, the DRS wing wide open, all the way down. This is probably where you're going to see all of the overtaking on this track, because it is a very difficult track to overtake. You brake just after the 100-meter board, get yourself right down the gears, and then through turn 1. Again, wing wide open as you go sprinting up to, I guess, turn 2, though that right-hander might count as one. It's a long, slow left-hander, not really wanting to go side-by-side if you can avoid it, but there will be some action like that going through it. Nice, quick, easy right-hander as you come into a deathly chicane. Slight right, hard left. You don't want to run wide, otherwise you will lose the car, as Dave almost did, but you held it nicely. Well done. Long, sweeping right, avoid the curb. If you do touch it, you're definitely dead. Brake hard for this chicane, and you can actually cut the left side a little bit, although Dave actually respecting the track limits there quite nicely. Nice, slow left-hander. Stay in gear 4 throughout both of these and get it nicely onto the exit curb and get your foot planted. Stay on the inside as tight as you can and flick it into the right-hand side. Do not run wide. You will invalidate. Very easy to do. I found that out the other day. Brake hard, about 75-meter board. Get yourself down to gear 3 and then get the exit curb just right. Accelerate even harder as you come into another slow left-hander. And you will need to make sure that the final corner here is as smooth as possible, because you will need every split second you can get on the exit to make sure this long sprint is either to be successfully defended or successfully offended. And Pampernic's already on pulse. It's 117.067. That is on hard, so I would expect that to drop drastically. But I don't think we're actually going to see anybody on the softs today. I think this is going to be a medium-only tyre initially. You might see someone who's not feeling very confident go for a soft run, but realistically, this is absolutely going to be a mediums to hard strategy. Those outside the top 10 will probably go for the hards. I'm looking at the likes of probably overspeed there to maybe be around about P11, maybe get the hards on and then go for it. But he's had very upsy downsy kind of races in the times I've spent on track with him, but he is quite a quick driver.
Yeah, he has his moments. I'm looking at Dennis. On his car, he's got the mediums, but on the actual timing sheets, he's on softs apparently. But I'm not sure what's going on
showing
there.
Mediums on my side. Yeah.
Okay. So it's mediums then.
It's definitely you. Oh, he almost goes into the side of one of the Alphas there. I think that might have been just chilling.
I think it was just chilling on his in-lap, yeah.
Spicy currently on a hot lap. Mode 5 right now. 27.1 was his sector 2. He's looking... a little bit out of shape there. Very out of shape. Catches the rear. Very much keeps himself out of the wall, but that's definitely going to have affected his lap time. There's no way this is going to be a pole time. I mean, it's a banker, it's a hard lap tyre. He's realistically looking at about 2 or 3 laps before the tyres actually get to a decent temperature. So pretty much just take it easy, get them warmed up, do a banker lap like he's doing right now as he comes through the final corner, over the finish line, and we'll go P3 with a very good, solid 1:17.471.
Yeah, I mean, that could have easily been provisional pole without those sliding episodes. Good lap overall.
Pretty tidy, but much better than I could have done, that's for sure. Yeah, Pony, now there's someone's name I haven't seen in a long time. This guy used to wow me back in the day with just how fast he was. If he's improved at all since... Oh, we've lost one. Penthalux. Is that a DNF on track? Yes, it is. That's actually the left hand I was talking about, where if you run wide, catch that curb, you can very easily die there, and that's exactly what's happened. If you look at that track map, you can see him. Especially
on that, well, on the anything that isn't a soft tyre, you're going to be struggling for grip if you try and take that full whack.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
Yepany, he's a absolutely beautiful person to commentate on, because he always seems to do the opposite of what you would expect him to do strategy-wise. He's always on the softs when everyone else is on the mediums, and it makes for great commentary and great show.
Good. I want to see more of it.
Not had the luck with results though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well,
So it's like he goes onto these soft tyres, he catches everyone up, but just really struggles to get past, and it kind of ruins everything for him.
Well, he's on the hards right now, on a hot lap as well, had a little bit of wobble on that curb, and this is the one we just saw the Racing Point crash out on. Made that look very easy.
Yeah, he's not pushing at all there.
Oh yeah, true, he's on mud zero.
One person that is pushing is Beaker. He's just gone P9, 19.2, so a lot of time yet to be found. And interestingly enough, Dennis on the softer tyre, that's the medium, only P2.
Yeah, he's only slightly slower than... Is it pronounced Common?
No idea. He's new to this league. This is his first race, unless he's changed his name or something.
I know his name is Camille. I know that's his first name. I just know you pronounce the surname. I'm going to go with Camille from now on. Oh, Dennis, he ran very wide there. I thought that was going to be a wall, but no, he's kept it. In fact, I actually think I remember, and this is Fred Joko, if you're watching, I apologise, but I think if I remember last season, I think Dennis and Fred Joko had a moment together on this track. I think Fred Joko ended up getting destroyed as a result of a mistake from Dennis. I could be wrong, but I do remember there being... I know that definitely happened in Italy, where there was a murder, and that scared the life out of me, but yeah, I think it might have happened here as well.
It seems like a likely thing to happen. They were both in the same team for the early part of this season, and Fred Joko stopped racing, but yeah, they were always side by side on track. They were very similar pace-wise, and you'd always sort of bank on the Ferraris to be really, really quick in qualifying, and then have some sort of collision or something and be together at the back of the field.
Now, Mizzo's done a lap already, but it was invalidated, so he's not going to have any time on the board just yet. But looking at it right now, he's currently going for another flyer, and on hard tyres, I'm expecting this time to be pretty competitive, to say the least.
Yeah, it's his second lap that he's had invalidated, Mizzo, so he's finding speed, but also finding the wrath of the stewards, I guess.
Well, OSP goes P13. Here comes Mizzo then. Do you say he's invalidated? Yes, you were right.
Yes, he is.
So, 2 in a row where he's not had things go right. But then again, it is on the hard still, and ultimately, it doesn't matter too much. It's when you get on the mediums, that's where you got to worry. But that will still have a knock-on effect. Every time you get these little invalidated laps, it has a mental issue with you. You know, you can easily make the mistakes, and it stayed lodged in there, and then you go, oh, I need to make sure I don't make that mistake when I get on my hot lap. And then you get on your hot lap, and immediately you're nervous, right? You don't want to make that mistake again. You've got to make sure it's consistent, like what Yonti's just done, a 1:17.131, so nice and clean so far from him. And Dennis, I did see improve on the mediums, but it's a 1:16.889. It's only just 300ths of a second faster than Camille's time in P2, so he's got a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's going to drop down once everyone drops down into the medium. And that's another sort of feature of the qualifying on the harder tyre. It is essentially a one-shot qualifying, because all these times on the hards, essentially they mean nothing, because you're only going to get that one run in the end on the medium. So the pressure's on, especially if you're invalidating laps early on. It's going to be tough for Mizzo to deliver, I think.
Indeed. Now, I saw yellow flag sector 2. I don't think there's anything to worry about as everybody seems to be moving. No one has retired. And there's Camille, 1:16.750 on hard tyres. So if you're Dennis, that is a real shock to the system there. That is, oops, I cannot put on any pace right now.
That has got to be a demoralising thing, seeing people on hard tyres beating you. And it's a sight that I think we're all too familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 100% reliable, Dennis. You're not on your own. Yeponi is going again now. He's done 3 laps. The fastest was a 1:19.9 now. I think he's backed out of every lap so far. I don't think he's actually committed to one single fast lap. Oh, he's already lost the reel a little bit there. It's not going to be the best of exits, but only mode 3 so far. Clearly doesn't feel as though he needs to push it all on hot lap.
It's just a finish flick from Yeponi. Don't worry about it. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, he thinks he's rally driving. That's the problem, and he can definitely see that as he almost binned it there. Caught it right before the grass, but again, look, has to back out. So Yeponi having very concerning moments on the track before we've even got out of qualifying. Alright, Bika is PA, currently sat at 1:17.477. He's only 6 thousandths behind Spicy, and obviously he's on an outlap right now, has a chance to go forward, and we're not yet at my favourite time of the session. We will talk about that later. It's my favourite bit, as everyone likes to remind me of it, but I remind them first, actually.
I'm not sure what you mean there, Ben.
Don't worry, when it comes to it, I'll make sure you're very, very aware.
Okay. Well, Mizzo is going for his 3rd attempt on that hard tyre to get a banker lap in. Keep an eye on him and we'll see if he's successful. I think it's quite quiet right now, isn't it, Ben? It's quite quiet on track, don't you think?
It's not the time. It's not. I know it looks like it's the time, but it's not the time. It's too early. I mean, I guess it could be the calm before the storm if they were actually going to do 2 runs. I would highly think that they won't do that. Like, it's too risky. You know, the reason you're not going on softs is because the tire wear is just too high on the softs on this track, that you will easily just cook them alive, and that's the end of your soft stint. But in the mediums, you kind of need that extra lap because you need to be flexible. You know, again, this is a track that's so difficult to overtake on. You can't afford to be stuck behind someone. So if you can get that little bit extra grip, get that one extra lap, or maybe undercut, overcut, whichever becomes available to you, you want to have the option. You don't want to be in a position where you can only undercut because your tires are screwed. You know, if the overcut is more powerful here, then you know you're absolutely done for.
Yeah, for sure. Very similar in terms of car setup to Monaco, and obviously we know how difficult it is to overtake there. Demands a hell of a lot from these rear tyres, or these sort of exits from slow corners, and that's why you aren't seeing drivers on the softs. It's going to be impossible to maintain the sort of working temperature in that tyre. So it's doing pretty well so far. Hasn't invalidated. A bit of a slide on coming into the chicane now. Takes it pretty well, yeah. Bit too much curb, but all in all, keeping a lot of momentum through the corners.
And no mistakes so far. I mean, we did see earlier.
A bit wide there, and he's invalid.
Yeah. Did he invalidate?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh, again, Mizzo. He just needs to attack that inside curb a little bit more. That's the thing on this track. You think that the curbs are not your friend, and for the most part, they're not. Especially, I think turn 6. I think it is. But on that one in particular, you want to attack the inside so much. You can actually just ride your front right wheel over the top of it and just carry yourself through the corner. Yeah, I mean, he's struggling. Dennis has scared us a little bit here with the soft tyre hover. Whether or not he commits to this it is left yet to be seen, but I don't know. That's a risk. That is absolutely the worst decision. Unless, I think the only thing he may be trying to do is a soft medium, but now he can't. Because he's burnt so much of the mediums he gets in qualifying. You only get 1 extra set, I believe, in unless he's gone for harder.
I'll tell you what, it might be worth a gamble if you're banking on an early safety car or something like that to get track position. It's definitely worth a gamble out there.
Yeah, Yeponi and Max. Max toggling between the two. He's indecisive. Can't choose the tyre he wants to go on. Rainbow is on an outlap as well. Oh, we're about to get into all the fiery bit where everybody chucks in ridiculous lap times and we get to see who's the fastest on track, as Camille is already out there and currently going through turn 1. A nice little smooth exit, no mistakes made there at all, but turn 2 is quite the one to watch out for. If you run too wide, And he's kept that perfect. That was very clean. Literally not even a slight little criticism to make there. Until we get to this corner.
Track guide.
Yeah, he's clearly watched it.
It's a purple first sector from Come On.
Lessons with Fossetti is what I'm hearing in the next YouTube series. Here comes Camille riding the second one a bit more than he necessarily wants to. Probably want to get more of your car over the top of the curb rather than just your wheels. I mean, he kept it alright. He's kept it pretty stable. Except for that bit, it looked a bit uncomfortable. Still fast. Yellow flag up ahead of him, but I don't think that's for anything more than just a slow car. We should be hop, skip, and jumping out of the way. There it is. That's Luke. Now, Camille, do you have the minerals to get yourself onto pole on this lap, or are you going to have to do another one? I mean, he's given himself plenty of time to do another one, should he need it. Here it comes to the line then. Wing wide open. Mode 4 engaged, and it is a 1:16.013. Actually, not as fast as I thought it would be.
Well, I think that's pretty good. It was such a great lap on the hards. I think he was going to struggle to find much more time. Interestingly, Yepany also going for those soft tyres. But that being said, he's just stopped in the pit entry, so I'm not sure what is going on. I think he might get disqualified here if he's not careful.
Oh, is that the Toro Rosso or Yepany?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
15.
I don't think he'll get disqualified there, but I don't know what he's doing. Oh, yeah. Never mind, he did. Okay, well, no matter what time he chucked on the board, he's absolutely back to the back of the grid. What was it you saying about him making mistakes? That was a bad one. Okay, so I've heard from Dennis. Dennis chose the balanced tyre allocations, which would mean that he's going to go for the two-stop, really. That's all he can go for. He didn't, although he has the hards as a backup should he need it, but we're pretty much going to see a softs, mediums, I think, out of him. Which would explain why he's on softs right now. I think it's still the worst decision to make, but he's going to be the only person on track doing it, and he's almost guaranteeing himself in the top 10 position. So this is good. This is still positive for him.
Mizzo's got rid of his gremlins and just set a purple sector too, but he's coming up to a fair bit of traffic in this final sector, but I think this is going to be up there.
I believe.
I'm glad to see Dennis doubling down with that with that soft tyre choice though. It's going to make for an interesting race. He's probably going to get pole position, I would say.
Well, here comes Mizzo then to the line. Is it enough? It's a P3. It's a 1:16.063. He doesn't have enough time to start another lap, so this is going to be the end of Mizzo's qualifying session. P3 at best. And looking at it, Yonti's obviously just beaten him only by literally 200ths of a second, but there is still plenty of people out on track that can beat him, one of which is Yonti's teammate, Beaker.
Read my mind there. I went straight to Beaker as soon as I saw that he was on a hot lap. He is one that can make things happen. He's having a good first sector so far. Keeps that car nice and under control.
I love his helmet. He's got a really nice dark black helmet that just fits perfectly with a Haas car. And it looks like he was made for that car. Like he owns that car, you know? And he's currently owning Sector 2 as well. If he can maintain this pace, I think he's on par to be right there next to Mizzo. Although that looked a bit uncomfortable. I mean, he's kept it within the limits, but that's where you lose time if you're just doing a little bit too slow. And there it is, Camille. Welcome.
Yeah. Huge pole lap.
4/10 clear of Yonti. That is a big slap to the rest of the drivers on the circuit. You know, unless Dennis on the softs might be able to bring himself close. We'll see. But here comes Beaker then to the line. It's going to be a P5, a 1:16.212. It was a good attempt, but not quite enough. Now we need to see Dennis. Oh, he's got Max ahead of him. Is Max actually going to block him? This could be a problem if he does, and I think he might. Max is technically on a hot lap too, so
looks like Max is pushing, in fairness to him.
Yeah, he's trying, but obviously Dennis on these softs, he's going to be hindered by this. And he's giving up.
He does. Oh, God.
P10 unless Max improves. If Max does jump into the top 10, which he hasn't, so Dennis will start.
Yeah, that was a very smart call.
Mediums.
It's a really smart call by Dennis backing out of that lap because he wasn't going to get the trap position and he was going to be on the bad tyre if he followed through with that lap. So P10, which means he does start on those slightly used up mediums, but he doesn't have to start on those softs.
Bit concerned for a few individuals on the circuit. I'm looking at Luke here. 4 laps done on his mediums. That tyre wear is going to be horrible. Copy, 3 laps in. Camille 3 laps in. I'm looking at, Yonti and Mizzo. They've got these 1 laps. Beaker in there just chilling. They are looking really good going into this race. They could very easily hold it all together and have no major issues when it comes to just keeping their tyres alive, then choosing to go into the hards if they really want to. I'm glad that they've gone for this tyre strategy. I just don't know how it's going to work out for the others. That's the bit I'm worried about. Luke in particular, 4 laps in on those mediums is going to be really bad news for him. But here is the rundown at the end of qualifying. We do have Camille on pole position with a 1:15.694. We've got Yonti there in second, with Mizzo chasing him down in third. Copy is holding the line. The second row of the grid is finalised with Copy, with Beaker there in fifth. And just chilling my boys in 5th and 6th. Brownie in 7th, Spicy in 8th. Luke is in 9th with those very, very worn tyres. Dennis made a right decision, I agree with you, absolutely, that he gets 10th place, so we'll be in there, and Pampernick gets the Best of the Rest award in P11.
Yeah, interesting enough, Pampernick on the hard tyre, opting not to go for that medium, and only P11, but he's going to get the fresh choice of tyres, so we'll see. Pampernick has made a name for himself for making these sort of bold strategy calls and starting low and finishing quite high.
But this is the wrong track to do it on. This is the one track where it's all about pit strategy. You cannot make mistakes there. You can only overtake on the home straight, which is great, if you are on the faster tyre, which he will be because I imagine he's going to start on hards now. I mean, he kind of gave us that indication, like you said, with the fact that he didn't choose mediums to do his fast laps on. So I'm expecting a full hards to mediums combo, but it's just, why would you do that on this track? If you did it in somewhere like Belgium, maybe, or maybe somewhere like, I don't know, Germany even, for example, going at the hards to mediums is quite smart. But when it comes to this circuit, you have to just match the strategy everyone else is on and just stick to it. You can't afford to lose out here.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree. I think this might be the first time that Pampernick's been out-qualified by his teammate as well. So...
Well, I mean, it took a tyre difference in order for that to work out, didn't it? That's just all it came down to.
He's gone for the medium in the race, so maybe just a technical issue, meaning he can't get out. I'm not sure.
Or maybe he's actually realised what I've just said and thought, you know what, that's a fair point. Maybe I should just go mediums to hards.
Maybe he is listening to the God Gamer.
Wait, you're talking? I don't. What were you saying? You said that. Yepany in P17 due to his disqualification. We do have Rover, who joined us after the qualifying has started, so I believe Rover actually has to start on the default setup, so there'll be very, very difficult tyre management for him, and I'd be surprised if he makes it any further than the top 10, if I'm honest.
I'm surprised if he makes it any further than 35 laps.
The
default setup around here is pretty scary, no matter what tyre you're on or no matter what pace you're doing. If you touch those curbs on corner exit, you're in for a bad time.
So Camille is saying, "Come on, we need to hurry up and get this race underway. I've got food to go eat. I've got a bath to go and soak in when I win the 25 points and get the fastest lap one as well." Yonti is kind of there with him. Says, "All right, well, I mean, I'll just chill. I live in a nice cold country. I'm all right. I'll wait for the saunas later."
Yeah, definitely something on Croman's mind. He's got somewhere to be. Maybe food has just been dished up. I don't know.
The takeaway man's on his way, bringing that.
I'm not going to lie, I've just
pizza.
had fajitas delivered right next to me as well.
Oh,
so I'm going to be commentating with one eye on my food.
If you feel free, whilst we're having this little first lap rundown, to indulge in your fajitas as we wait for the final few drivers to just get into their grid boxes. Oh, that was Rover making a mistake. Warmed his rears up quite nicely, although AI took control there. So
yeah,
the AI clearly just had a problem.
AI not enjoying that default setup, I guess.
No, definitely not. But the lights are on, and we're about to have a beautiful run towards turn 1. Is Camille going to get a good one? We're already away. That was very quick. The lights literally just disappeared as soon as the first one lit up, and already Camille's having to come straight over to the inside because he knows the run to turn 1 is so long, as Copy is trying to get in the middle of everything. He's getting sandwiched. There's Mizzo getting stuck on the outside. Yonti's managed to secure P2 and make sure nobody could get him. Beaker's involved in this situation as well, as Mizzo is trying to just hold his wing intact, and there's contact. That's Beaker, that's Copy. They've somehow rotated. I think Beaker's actually lost a fair bit of wing. Yes, he has got a left end play that's completely missing, and we have a safety car.
Yeah, big contact to the back of the field as well. Overspeed right into the back of Rainbow, turning him around. Rainbow right at the back of the field now, but no damage, but big damage on the front of Overspeed's Toro Rosso. I think both the Racing Points
Yeah.
being sent around in turn 2.
It's a common mistake to make, fear not.
Aston Martins, I mean.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Well, Mercedes Aston Martin, I think, is now what you're referring to.
Wow.
They've pretty much copied the Mercedes car, haven't they, for 2020?
Luke's out.
Yeah, Luke is either not
He's
happy.
also being overtaken by like drivers.
I don't know if I'll have to give that back. Oh, Pampernick and Brownie just had. What is Brownie doing?
I think Brownie might be in trouble for overtaking Luke's ghosted car or something.
I think he might be. But now Brownie's down 5 places. I mean, he's lost a couple, and Pampernick actually got a penalty for the contact with Brownie.
Ah, this
This
isn't
is
good.
not good. Alright, let's have a look at the biggest winners and biggest losers then. So the biggest winner so far is actually tied, although Pampernick has just come into the pits will be losing that, and he'll go to Rover, who's actually gained 3 places so far in this race. And the biggest loser is currently getting bigger. It's actually Brownie, who's down 5 places. Obviously, the pit lane is lighting up. Let's have a look at the tyre strategy. I imagine all these medium runners are going to go to hards, but if they do that now, they're going to have to go softs later. This is the only way. Oh, the double stack as well for Red Bull and Ferrari. This is just getting worse. The Ferraris have got it even worse because they couldn't even move. The Red Bull was in the way. Dennis has finally been released. Overspeed is still in the pits. And Danico is also in the same boat. This is really bad for Red Bull and Ferrari.
A lot of front
being
wings being
stuck
replaced
like
there.
that.
Yeah, that is not good. But also realistic, I guess.
Yeah, true.
Playing on that score.
Now, this is the problem we're going to see now, is when the safety car restarts, the AI tend not to be able to keep up with the pack for whatever reason. They back off even more so than they should. So, those outside of P8, they're actually going to be held back a fair bit here. Now, the Beaker could capitalise on this. I mean, he's obviously trying to catch up to the pack, and he's pretty much going to do that because we're still going to have, I think, one more lap before we actually get back in.
So I don't think that'll be a problem.
Yeah. Well, he's really looked in there, hasn't he? Let's be honest. He's somehow escaped that one. Now, the restart is going to be the key area here. Yonti's going to be trying to just stay with Camille, as Camille just up and left because he's severely hungry, is the way it looks like. Mizzo's obviously here as well, and he got bogged down so much on the start. He actually was really lucky to fall back into P3 because so many people passed him. Copy got past him, and Beaker got past him, and then Beaker ran into the back of Copy, it looked like. I think he got winged. Well, he definitely got winged damage. He lost his left end plate. Copy also lost the rear of his car as a result. Mizzo just flipped back into P3 again, and he's really been dealt a whole lifeline here that he can hopefully hang on to. But again, similar sort of situation. Copy's right there on the rear of him. Spicy's there as well, and Mizzo's teammate just chilling. He's going to be looking to try and capitalize. Even if it's his own teammate, he will look to get that position. He deserves it.
Yep. Also, a note on strategy. I'm wondering if Beaker and Pampernick and Brownie are going to be able to run to the end on this hard tyre. They have gone really early, either for a wing replacement. Pampernick didn't replace his wing, but he did serve a 5-second penalty got for hitting Brownie in the safety car.
Yeah, that can't even be removed now. That's the problem. It was a 5-second that was served, like you say, under the safety car, and I think the only reason he went in was to try and capitalise on the safety car. Yeah, but I mean, overall, this is still looking pretty good for him. You know, the hard tyre situation right now, he's still P11. My worry, like you said, is whether they can make it to the end. They're going to get a few laps and gift it to them, obviously, because of the fact that the safety car's out. It's just more when we get to around about lap 30, when we get to around about lap 31, we might start to see the tyre wear come in. And again, turn 6, the left-hander, you can very easily bin it in. If he just takes that just slightly wrong and the rear steps out, he's gone. He's dead, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And I think as well, the higher speed corners towards the end of the lap, once you start sliding around, the tyre temp's going to build up, and it's going to be really, really scary for that middle section. Safety car coming in. Now
let's get the bets in. So, what are the bets that Mizzo holds P3, and what are the bets that Mizzo loses P3?
Well, I'm definitely putting my money on Mizzo either holding or gaining a position.
Okay, all right. I'm with you on that.
I don't see him coming back.
I think he will actually. I think he will actually be able to secure this. Camille takes a very weird exit. That's actually benefited Spicy. Look at this. He's already lining up. They're squeezing up towards the wall. And he's found a way through. And Mizzo's about to lose out. As here comes Spicy down the inside again. Another 3-wide situation. Copy's been sent off towards the curb. And the Mizzo is sat in the middle still. And he's going to lose that place. He's got nothing he can do about it. And he's even teammates coming through. That's just chilling. Look at him going around the outside. He might actually still pull this off. Has he got it? Yes, I think he has. As Mizzo's going to have to take the outside. And no, just chilling actually backs off, and that's allowed Copy through. That was just a little bit too much teamwork there, and I think it backfired quite drastically.
Yeah, let's be a fly on the wall in that Alfa Romeo group chat, Discord chat, just to see Mizzo's reaction to his teammate trying to take him on the outside there. Probably not what he needed.
Yeah, but Mizzo just going, get back, this is mine. And he's already lost one place, like we said. Copy was attempting to gain something. He recovered in the end, but it was Spicy. 2 places gained on that restart. He really sent it down the inside. It really worked out. Oh, Danny Coe with a 3-second penalty. Look at that.
Yep. 3-second penalty for Danny Coe. Brownie well out of position here in 13th, and Pampernick has dropped down a position on these hard tyres. Yepany seems to be quite comfortable in these conditions on his medium tyres and is lining up another overtake on Pentathlon now. He's not going to have the DRS just yet, but he is going to have the slipstream, and he's into overtake. Pentathlon covers up the inside, and down the outside Yepany goes. He's got the grip. Is he going to get the exit he needs? Yes, he is. And now he's got the inside for turn 2. They're still side by side. But Yepany does make it a little bit of a nudge. NASCAR's quite popular in Finland, it looks like.
Yeah. It was just a little kiss, that's all that was. I mean, in fairness, the tyre difference would have been favoured towards Yepany anyway, and he did well to hold it alongside of him. But the mentality issue again comes in because Pentathlon actually under the safety car, as the safety car was coming in, got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting, which I imagine is probably going to be removed because you can't really gain time under the safety car, but yeah, it'll still be on his mind.
Yep. It does weigh on your mind, something like that, when you're figuring out all the gaps and all the penalties. It just adds to a little bit of sort of mental maths you've got to do, which can distract you quite easily. I know I've done it myself a few times, trying to figure out penalties.
Now, Brownie is in an awkward position. He wants to pass, and he has the pace to pass Pampernick. It's just, there's nowhere to go. That's the issue. And now you come onto the home straight, but look at the train of cars we've got. This is a massive DRS train that starts with Luke and finishes all the way down at Dennis. In fact, Rover's kind of in this too. He just doesn't seem to have that DRS. He's saying he's a lap down. I'm almost guaranteeing you he's not. Brownie's going for a send. Here he is on the inside. He was almost into the side of the Williams, but he's kept it clean. But he's not got the exit he needed, and Pentathlon is really struggling here. Pampernick's trying to get alongside of him. There's not going to be an opportunity, and I think ultimately, never mind. Here comes Dennis down the inside, squeezing it out there nicely. He's very much fighting that car, but a nice move done on Brownie. Almost gains the twofer, and he can't quite get it just yet unless there's a smidgen of hope through the inside. There's contact, and that's Dennis's wing gone. Left end plate, and who was that? That was Beaker. He's lost it as well. No contact, but I think he just lost the car going through the left-hander.
Yeah, no damage on Beaker's car, but yeah, if Yepany gave him a kiss, Dennis gave him a snog there.
Absolutely, tongues and everything, and that was a slap back which cost him his wing, and he's in a real bad, awkward scenario right now.
Yeah. Doesn't look too bad, it's only the left front missing, but he's going to be losing about a second a lap if he doesn't get that fixed. He'll be praying for a safety car, I think.
Rover's in trouble as here comes Danny Coe trying to fight him around the outside. The tyre strategy, tyre difference again is coming into factor here. Rover is holding on to the position. Danny just doesn't have the grip right now, but he will have the pace and he'll probably have the toe because Rover's a little bit further back from Brownie, and still no DRS for Rover. The fact that it's showing 1 lap down for Rover is really costing him, but a big send from Danny down the inside. There's going to be enough gap there for him, or just about, and there's a little contact with him, which stops him from being able to make the overtake. Dennis trying to do something about Brownie, but that wing damage is causing him to understeer. Does clip the left rear wheel of Brownie, but it doesn't cause any major upset as Max and Yepany swap places. Max still alive in P9.
Yeah, good drive by Yepany so far. Got very close in the straight into turn 1. Tried the dive, didn't quite brake late enough, so he had to sort of stay back in. But he proved that you don't have to just overtake on the main straight. He's got the move done in the middle of the track.
Now,
Just a little interesting thing about Brownie as well. He looks like he's running a negative fuel delta, so he's going to have to do some fuel saving if he wants to make the end of this race. Looks like he's the only driver that's chosen to do that. Actually, Spicy has as well.
which is something we've seen him do quite a lot. And I guess on a track like this, where if you are going to be stuck behind people, you just kind of sit and lean. Especially these slows.
Oh,
Max has gone.
Max.
That's a big mistake there. He lost the rear. Over to the wall he went. He is jittering around like crazy, but he is still very much in this race. Never mind, he's just retired. That's the end of that.
Dennis into the pits to get his wing replaced.
Now he could probably take it to the end on the hards. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Max, that's
Max
not a good
leading
thing
the
to
session
do.
as well. That is going to make Dennis a little bit angry, I think. As Kroman gets a 3-second time penalty, that could be crucial. But he is driving away at the moment, so that might not even matter come the end of this race. 2.3 seconds is the gap after that restart.
Yep, indeed. I mean, Camille is doing a very good job of holding it down. That 2.5 is kind of like a slap to Jonty there, saying you need to be faster if you want to be able to get these race wins. Even with this penalty, I'm going to hold you back. Oh, that was a massive bounce there for Penthalox. Very much nearly made a massive mistake, but still keeping himself in this race. I'm looking at the top 6 are actually a bit more spread out than I thought they would be. I mean, yeah, there's still 3 people within DRS of Jonty, but Spicy's about to lose that, as Jonty just seems to be that little bit quicker. Mizzo is around about 7/10, so the toe is not really going to favour him. Copy is about to lose DRS on Mizzo, and it's tragic.
I'll tell you what I'm looking at. Battery levels. Mizzo 100%, Spicy 19%. Mizzo is getting ready to make a move, I think, and it's going to be in the next couple of laps.
Yeah. And actually, even if you look at Camille, who is obviously race lead, 73% right now, that's after turn 3. Jonty is on 26 and still losing Delta. That is just a symbol of to how much difference there is pace between these two. And like you said, Spicy also struggling to keep up with Jonty. Jonty get a penalty. That has now nullified Camille's, but it has brought life to those behind him. Spicy's now within jumping that distance. Mizzo is, and so is Copy. And I guess Just Chilling's pretty much there too. He's a bit outside of it, but that can easily change, especially in the coming laps.
Yeah, Just Chilling, winner a couple of weeks back, just on virtue of penalties, so he is one that can keep it clean and knows and understands the value of keeping it clean.
Yeah, he's the one driver I rely on for being that consistent and clean. You know, he's always the one who tries to stay out of trouble as much as possible. Doesn't always work out to him. Like he's in my opinion, I think he's a bit too much of a pushover when it comes to cars on track.
Ooh,
like he just wants to
fight P14, 15, 16. Beaker down the inside of Overspeed going into sector 3. Rainbow just behind on these old hard tyres. Actually the same tyres as Beaker. Beaker seeming to manage his grip levels much better. He's going such good drive out that corner.
Yeah, Beaker's in a weird scenario. He's got 2 drivers, although here comes Rainbow on Overspeed. Overspeed, even with that DRS, is trying to fight it. He's holding that inside line. We're going to have to see if he can get around the outside, but there's not really going to be a chance. They're so close between Overspeed and Beaker, nearly a collision and a half. Here comes Rainbow. This is going to have to be an outside line. He's already too far alongside of him. Overspeed has the priority here, but Rainbow could stick it through, and if he can keep it alongside throughout, he will have the inside for the next, and we've lost Penthalox, and that's coming up right here.
What a move.
That is a big
and a
mistake.
Safety car.
Yeah. Now these medium runners have just been given a very easy pit stop.
I'll tell you who's been given a lifeline, Dennis. He's about half a lap behind everyone else, and he has been given a huge lifeline.
I mean, those hards now are going to get those extra few laps in that are nice and free, you know, pretty much minimal tyre wear. The only worry he's going to have, I guess, is getting the tyres up to temperature in time to be able to keep the grip going through turn, like I say, turn 6 and other areas of the track. But, you know, it's no different to the others that are going to be on these. Oh, that's not good, Beaker. That's not good at all.
It's a very easy thing to do as well. Just losing concentration, looking around the cars around you. Just lose sight of that delta, and yeah, big penalty. And he loses the rear end as well.
All of the top 8 are in. Pampernick has decided to not come in, which will allow him actually to jump up quite a fair few places. So this is where he's going to gain loads. Again, we talked about the strategy. He's going to come out right up there in P2. So Pampernick, yes, 9 laps in on these hards, is going to be in for a really rough end to this race. The tyres will be pretty much destroyed. But overall, what looked pretty awful considering he got that 5-second penalty for collision with Brownie and served in the pit lane has suddenly worked out for him.
I'm seeing a big red X next to Kumon's name. Not sure. Oh, he has left the session.
That might break the safety car. I've seen that once or twice. I mean, Camille can't pass.
Might break the whole lobby. Pampernik does take the position, gives it back though.
Yeah, I think he thought, ooh, P1, whilst he's not here, might as well do that. He's about to find, nope, you're not allowed to do that. And has to give the position back, so we'll have to sit behind a ghosted car.
You gotta try your luck in these situations, I guess.
Yeah. So I've actually found, I don't know how easy it is to replicate, but I did this in my league race the other day. You can actually glitch it slightly, where if you go close enough to the driver that's ahead of you that's ghosted, and like kind of go inside of them, just kind of jitter between in and out of them, you can actually then pass them afterwards, if you do it right. But
yeah, same with the safety car. Well, it was the case last year. If you just lined up alongside the safety car and kind of, straddled the line between passing and not passing, it would more often not break the safety car and you'd get a free lap on the field.
Which would be lovely.
Just FYI, I only did that in career mode. I didn't do that in multiplayer or anything.
Yeah, we believe you. Don't worry, we fully believe you.
Okay.
Right, Brownie going on to fresh mediums. Now that's got to be a mistake, surely.
No, I think Rover might be under the impression that he can serve his drive-through penalty. Of course, he can't under safety car.
I think he was
another driver that got the drive-through penalty or speeding under safety car. He's onto a fresh set of hards, but he is still going to have to serve that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, I think given the fact that he's pitting under the safety car, he already knows he's going to be at the back of the grid anyway. I mean, Beaker's going to be there alongside of him, so there's still going to be a little battle between those two. Beaker will be seething right now. He will be so upset.
You can imagine, can't you?
Absolutely. Camille is asking me for an invite. But we can't do that, sadly.
Oh, one of the features they removed this year, isn't it? You used to be able to do that, didn't you? Yeah.
Let me try and assist in getting him back. There we go. I've done my best.
And it worked.
He's back. Sweet. Nailed it. I'll take that.
We'll just assume that was all you.
It was all me. It was all me. He has made it back into P1 as well, which is obviously going to be the more important thing. Pampernik obviously going to be still sat P2. 10 laps in, like I say, with Danico also 10 laps in. We're going to see the safety car come in this lap. Do you want to put money on Mizzo again?
I'm not going to say anything this time.
I think you jinxed him, honestly. I'm actually going to put the ball on you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to go with Yonti to jump Pampernik in the lead up towards turn 1. Do you want to take the safety car restart?
Yeah, sure. I'll take the safety car restart. And there we go. Cummins bolted, and he has got a 1 second gap already, if the interval's to be believed. Big moment there by Luke. Lost the back end, and he's going to be vulnerable from Yepini now.
Spicy and Danny. Danny's on the inside, actually. Oh, they actually touch. I think that Danny's been rotated while he's caught it, but he's going to lose the position. Mizzo's up one, so you should have done exactly what you did. But this time, last time, would have been great. He would have made sure he didn't lose the position as Yepini and Just Chillin' is scrapping. Just Chillin' is fallen somehow. And I think it's due to the fact he went to the pits. He's gone down to P9, but being alongside that Toro Rosso is not going to be good for him.
Big fight further down for P9. Yepini under serious pressure from Just Chillin' and Brownie. Brownie onto some fresh mediums. He's going to be looking to make up a lot of spaces.
Yeah, Brownie's going to try his absolute hardest to pass here. But the problem he's got is there is no way through. This is a very tight track. And it's very difficult to overtake except on the home straight. And when you're on a safety car restart like this, All this does is just back everyone up into each other. The tow is going to be available for everybody. DRS after 2 laps is going to be available for everybody. And you've got nothing he can gain apart from this. If he can slip down the inside, it's going to be a late braking move. And I think he has just about done it. He's put Just Chilling right on the curb there. And I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's a lot of scrap going on further ahead. And Brownie is still fighting, but he's got the inside line for the final corner. He might actually find a way through Yepany if he can just keep applying the pressure. Danico and Luke are still fighting as well. This is for 6th and 7th. Danny runs seriously wide, and Brownie, he sees opportunities. He's seeing many positions to gain, but he's also seeing nowhere to go, and that's going to have to be a back out there. And there's if Williams on the inside, Luke might lose out. Just Chilling, he's trying to gain from this as well. He actually just nearly had Brownie, and in the end, they don't move. Oh, nearly contact. It's getting very spicy now, and I don't mean the driver.
No, speaking of spicy, he had a little spin in Sector 3. He's down in 14th position now after running 3rd for a lot of the race. And Just Chilling and Luke side by side through the little flick of turn 5. Absolutely balls of steel. Balls the size of Jupiter.
Yeah.
Great stuff from these drivers. And a huge skip on that chicane from Danny. I wonder if he got a penalty from that.
I didn't see anything. There's nothing I saw pop up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Brownie and Yepany.
Brownie's getting close.
Again. Yeah, he's really trying to pressure this Toro Rosso. It's just not finding any gap, and that's ultimately what's scaring him a little bit. Yepany's going to be looking in his mirrors, just seeing all of the Red Bull. Oh, there's Copy gone wide.
Yep.
Big mistake.
I'm not seeing Komon moving away or pulling away like he was the last restart. It's only 2 tenths the gap between him and Pampernik. Pampernik's caught him up since the restart.
DRS is enabled. They're not going to have it on the home straight, and they're not going to have it through turn 1. There is a lot of scrapping going up further ahead, and that's Mizzo. That is also Pampernik and Yonti. Pampernik and Yonti just not getting the move done there from Yonti. He's trying to find it again. Here's the inside. Pampernik is going to have to give him the space because he knows he's alongside of him, and Camille is struggling on these hards. He just doesn't seem to have the pace he had when he was on the mediums, despite the fact that he had ridiculous speed. Oh no, surely Yonti, you can't do this. This is not available, and he sees it's not. That's the outside. That's a mistake. Yeah.
That's massively cost him. Mizzo round the outside of turn 6 does make the move. Danico also having a look, but he's under pressure from Copy behind.
Oh, there's a curb there. You might want to go around it next time. That was almost a whole undercarriage of his car just being destroyed. Copy right there still. Brownie all over him now, as we saw that change of position from Brownie and Yepany being done and dusted. But again, 4 laps in. Oh, he's actually looking for another inside line. He's actually going to get it. This is Copy trying to hold him dead to rights. Brownie's forced his way through. They are 3 wide, weirdly. And Danico is actually the one who loses out, although Copy, he gains the most. He's 2 up now. Although Brownie might be able to hold him out there. If he can hang him out to dry, then Brownie will get P5. Yes, he has. Copy is still pretty happy. 1 place gained.
Brownie is on a absolute mission. I don't see him going anywhere but first the way he's driving at the moment. And Komon is going to lose 3 places in 1 corner. Runs wide and loses 4 places. Brownie jumps him.
Oh, they're coming back at it. Yonti's been touched. They're still going there. How are they keeping this alive? How is no one dead yet? Coffee is here as well. He's seeing Camille and thinking, P5 sounds nice. I quite like Copy P5. I wish I could get that framed and stuck on my wall, but right now I'm going to have to wait until I get on the home straight again. Again, nowhere to go.
Yep. And what was it you were going to say? Pampernik's going to lose positions? Pampernik is P1 on 14 lap old hards. And this is exactly what he did in Bahrain as well. He pitted early for the safety car along with his teammate, and they both ran sort of 95% of the race distance on hards, and on the final lap his teammate got a puncture, he didn't. Pampernik held on to win the race, and maybe he'll do the same thing here as well.
Now, I'm being told that Camille's game is apparently broken. I'm not sure exactly what, but that would explain why the sudden drop in pace, as he was like 2.5 seconds up the field until the safety car came out, and then suddenly he's 2.5 seconds down the field. So I don't know what's gone wrong, but something has drastically gone wrong, as here comes Copy. Camille's not going to have the DRS, and Copy's just going to breeze on past him like he's not even there. Danico might actually get him as well. He's going to look for the inside. Oh, he backed out of that pretty early. He's got the grip though to go through turn 1. Camille's going to lose that position, and Danico up to P6.
Yeah, not putting up too much of a fight. It does look like he's got a problem. He's just sort of lost all of his sort of willingness to take control of the
Oh
situation.
no! Brownie and Yonti, sorry, they've just had a big touch, and that sent Yonti right off the field. Brownie just gave him such a clout there. I think that might actually have been a bit naughty.
So we've had a kiss, a snog, and a clout so far, and we're only on lap 17.
We're just waiting for the kick, the elbow, and the headbutt before we get any further.
And the RKO.
Out of nowhere.
Hey. And somewhere along that, Mizzo has jumped Pampernick for P1.
There's just so much action, not enough eyes. Yeponi is already looking to get Camille as well, and that's in the braking zone going into it. We've seen Brownie make some moves. They are still side by side, wheel to wheel, and Yeponi is the one who comes out on top. As Camille just, again, I'm not seeing any like jitters from Camille, so I don't know exactly what's gone wrong with him, but he has seriously lost pace.
My guess
Luca.
maybe would be that he's lost force feedback. Because it seems to be in the corners where he's struggling. And it's just a lack of pace.
Luke and Just Chilling is side by side. That's actually going to be Just Chilling getting squeezed out, and he loses positions. Although Camille loses even more. And Dennis, hello mate, where have you come from? Round the outside, he's going to try and do the move, and I don't think he can get it unless he can stay alongside of him. We've seen this before. This didn't work out for him this time. And Just Chilling stays where he is, P9, but he's right here on the back of Luke. And it's just getting so feisty. I love it.
Yeah, and come on, just dropping off the back of this group. Yeah, major issues for him. Rainbow now in P12 coming up to pass him.
Now, Dennis is still P10. He is still sitting by. My only concern, again, is the laps that he's done so far on the hards. I mean, he's not done anywhere near as many as the likes of Pampernick and Danico and even Beaker have done. However, it's just going to be a nightmare for them, given the scenario. There's nowhere for them to go. I mean, they could pit now and go mediums again. If they... Oh, Just Chilling's made a mistake. He just went on the brakes and it all went wrong, and that's caused him to completely rotate. And he's now stuck on the grass, waiting to get back on the track. And he's managed to move over without any collisions.
And
but that was
Brownie.
disaster.
Down the inside of Pampernick. He runs deep into the corner, gives him another kiss, but he does take P2. Just one more obstacle in the way now for Brownie.
My only concern is he's treating them like obstacles. He's, giving them that little tap and getting out of the way. Luckily, there was there was contact, but no damage, should I say, between him and Pampernick. Pampernick did get a little clip on the front wing, but still all clean, all green, no problems there. Spicy saying a fastest lap.
Yeah, and you might not have seen that, but Coleman leaving the session.
Yep.
That was a problem, or he has had enough. Who knows?
I mean, there are a lot of battles, but there are not a lot of overtakes just yet. I mean, that's mainly down to the fact of...
it's the feature of the circuit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's all the home straight. Everything happens on the home straight. That leads up to being side by side for the majority, and then by the time you get to around about turn 5, turn 6, that's when they go... Actually, I don't fancy murdering somebody else on track, although I've just seen the Rainbow make a mistake and he's lost places. He's now down to P13. Has he got puncture? He's fighting like he's got a puncture, but I don't
think it
see
might
it.
just be the fact that he's burnt up his tyres spinning.
Oh, yes he has. I just seen 100 plus degrees on the right hand side of his car, both front and rear right. So here we go. Into the pits. 9 laps was all he could muster on the mediums. Brownie's doing that right now, and no real problems for him. Well, he is still chasing race leader. That is Mizzo, who's going to be feeling pretty comfortable right now, at least for now.
Yeah. Fastest lap to Spicy down in P14. So the medium's definitely the tyre to be on right now, which is kind of stating the obvious. Just shows you there the difference in speed.
Yeah, I mean, Mizzo having the pace to keep Brownie behind, even though he's on the hards, is just a testament to how quick Mizzo actually is. Like, it's crazy.
I think it's a case of if, when and not if, though. I think he will definitely be within a chance down this main straight.
Yeah, but Brownie's tyres will disintegrate in around about... I'm going to give him another 5 laps, maybe, at most. And that's the point there where Mizzo will go, oh, Yeah, you remember about 5 laps ago when you passed me? I'm just going to cruise on past you again this time. Is that cool? Yeah, cool. Oh, well, you ain't got a choice about it because I've got DRS tow and everything I need to just blitz on past you on the home straight. And Brownie's not going to get the move done here. He's probably going to do it here if he can get the exit, which he hasn't. Mizzo leaves that corner so much quicker, so much smoother. And I've got a feeling they have to go again as Luke's retired in the pit lane.
And looking at the deployment of Brownie's energy, he has got no interest of passing Mizzo at the moment. He didn't stay, well, he stayed on 0 the whole time down that main straight and only briefly went into 3 on that second DRS zone. So he might just be content with just sitting behind Mizzo for now, maybe watching his tyres a little bit, maybe biding his time, see if there's another safety car.
I mean, if he is sitting in these low modes, there's 2 main reasons he's doing that, or three main reasons actually. First one, he needs to bring his fuel back into a great place because it is currently underfueled, as we said, which is good and bad. Although he's making it look like he's going for it. No, he has a scare for Mizzo, but Mizzo is unscathed. He's not bothered. He just carries on as he is because this guy is a machine. Although Pampernick is about to show Brownie why you don't go for those moves, because I'm right here now and I'm going to get everything I need and potentially even more if you make even the slightest of mistakes. 19 laps in on these hards. How is he keeping up with these top 2?
It's pure talent. It is pure talent. Look, I've been racing with Pampernick for a couple of, well, 2 games now, a couple of seasons, a couple of years, I guess. And to see the way he's developed, I think he's still only around 16 years old. And just to see the way he's developed from someone that was around my pace to someone who is so far beyond my pace now. And really mixing it up with the likes of, Veloce Hypers and Nicholas Longay at times.
Yeah.
It's really, and to be that young and have that much talent is quite frightening, really.
Well, this is it. It's like, your potential is still yet to be unlocked. That's just kind of how it goes. As you grow older, you grow smarter, you grow wiser, and you get so much more comfortable with everything that you experience in life. And this guy has still so much to learn. It's brilliant. Pampernick, we want to see you in a few years. We want to see you in the esports scene, smashing it up. But P3 is where you are right now, and you've got a lot of work to do to stay with these top 2 because they're starting to pull, and Yonti's coming.
And Brownie also in a perfect position should he choose to pass him. That's a nice luxury to have, isn't it? You get to choose if you want to pass the leader this lap or not. And it looks like he's going to make that choice.
Nice and easy, really. No, I mean, Mizzo even backed out. Look at that red light comes on the back of his car. It means he's turned all of his electrical deployment straight off. He didn't even want to fight that at all. But now Mizzo has pretty much everything gifted. He knows Brownie's situation. He knows Brownie is in a lot of trouble, and he's already starting to show weakness there by how far in he went, and the mistake he made on the exit means Mizzo, yes, he's not going to pass him. We can guarantee that with his 100% ERS, but he doesn't have to. He just sits here and watches Brownie's race just crumble before him.
That's a bit dramatic, but yeah, the cards are all in Mizzo's chest. It is Brownie that has to pull out the time, pit onto those fresh softs, I assume he'll be on, and do the same thing all over again. And, how hard his task will be determined by how much of a gap he pulls out on Mizzo here, and it does look like he's a fair bit quicker still on these tyres. But I think Mizzo is playing it cool. He knows that this race is his to lose at this point in time.
I mean, Pampernick has burnt half of his battery currently, just sort of staying with these 2. I think he thought maybe I can cruise a little bit, but 21 laps in on these hards. If he is planning to take these to the end, which I highly doubt, A, he will do, and B, is even possible, I think he's doing such a phenomenal job to just manage everything right now. Again, problem is Yonti on much younger tyres is about the same pace as you on a good day, and that's the problem that Pampernick's got now. I can't just sit behind Mizzo and wait because I've got to go. But I also can't go because I've got no tyres to work with, so what do? He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and Mizzo's loving it right now.
Yeah, I think it's sort of a mental battle between Pampernick and the tyre.
Yeah.
Which one's
Who
going to
will
go
give
first?
him first? Yeah, exactly.
And I can guarantee you it's not Pampernick.
It'll definitely be the tyre.
But Rainbow now onto the soft tyre. He's down in 14th and some way behind Beaker.
Yeah, this is when you see somebody put the soft tire on, you know that's them saying, well, I'm done. There's nothing I can do here.
Fastest lap, yeah.
Exactly. Take that point away from someone, check on the softs, and, you know, yes, it means that I'm not going to gain a point anyway, but it also means I'm stopping other people from gaining that point. If it works out for me, I'll take it.
Yep, and you'll get your name in the newspaper, won't you, as well?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, Mizzo still there, but 1.5 seconds off now. Has suddenly lost a lot of pace, but that's mainly because if you look at Brownie's DRS, he has dumped it. He has left Mizzo for dead, and I think, again, he's kind of worried that, well, yes, that's right, I actually won't be able to make it to the end on these tyres. I just don't have the grip to do that. The tyre wear is just too great. Mizzo is going to pass me if I don't start pulling away, and 1.6 is where they sit right now. Mizzo's kind of concerned because Pampernik is there and Yonti's right behind him. So if he does just take the foot off the gas a little bit, these guys will pass him. And maybe even Copy, who's still within DRS, albeit barely, but that does make a massive difference.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Pampernik, I'm so baffled as to how he's keeping the same level of pace up.
Yeah, it's nuts. He should be way down the field now as a result of the tyre wear, but no, he just seems comfortable. In fact, he actually looks more comfortable than Yonti. I was just watching Yonti go through that series of corners there, and he looked so uncomfortable in comparison to Pampernik, who's just hitting all the apexes, getting the exits just right. You're not seeing any wobble from the rear, whereas Yonti, we've seen him get the entries and exits okay, but I've seen a fair few wobbles, and that in itself will wear the tyres even more. So whilst, yes, he is 9 laps fresher on these tyres, he doesn't look like it.
And this is such a horrible track for rear tyre temperature. All these slow corner exits, they just munch up the grip and jack up the temperature. And whoever manages that is going to win this race.
I'm worried for Brownie's DRS, honestly. He's so low in that now in comparison to those behind him, and Mizzo could just turn that up to 11 and off he goes. He's going to close that gap straight away. Brownie is literally killing his tyres.
Mizzo is using overtake to come into turn 5, so he is deciding to pick up the pace, I think. Maybe wants to drop Pampernik from his DRS.
I don't think he can, though. It doesn't... I mean, he can pass Pampernik and leave him a bit in trouble, but do you want to? Is that some? I mean, Yonti's got a 3-second time penalty, remember, so he's not actually going to keep the position even if he passes Mizzo or Pampernik. Mizzo doesn't actually have to speed away that quickly. Copy's really the only driver out of the 3 behind him to worry about because he's kept it clean. He's not had any penalties, at least none that I can recall, and he's just too far back. I don't think he's going to get it, and we've lost Rainbow. That's in the pit lane. So that is frustration. I didn't think he got fastest lap, did he? Oh, he did.
Yeah.
1:17.808.
So Mizzo does bring it very close to that 1 second he needs to drop Pampernik. He also catches Brownie by about 1/10.5 that last lap. So Mizzo's starting to deploy that battery, and I think also the crossover point between the tyre grip levels is starting to come.
It is. Just Chillin has DRS as well on Rover. We've just seen Yepany get a pass done on Danico, so that is now up to P6 for Yepany, who, again, had an interesting start. Started so far down the field, I think he's surely got to be the biggest winner. Yes, he had. Yes, he is. 11 positions again so far in the beginning of this race. Rover's got up 9, Danico's up 8, Pampernik also up 8, and Brownie, our current race leader, is on 6. But look at the gap between Brownie and Mizzo. Now that Mizzo has decided enough's enough, Brownie, I'm going to deploy a tiny bit of DRS. It's 1.4. It was 1.3 at one point.
And if it carries on like this, Pampernik not going to have the DRS and going to be very vulnerable to Yonti behind and then Copy behind.
Pampernik is starting to get into a series of problems now. He has to push, but he just, again, doesn't have the grip. And yeah, now you're seeing the tyre wear kick in. I've just seen his car fighting the rear, and because of how much he's been pushing just there, both of his rear tyres are over the 100 degrees, so he is actually in a problem scenario right now. He needs to go.
Yonti.
Yeah.
Yonti down the inside. Tries it. Bit of a half-hearted move, really, and doesn't get the position he's looking for. And all that's going to do, really, is slow up these two, and Copy is going to be able to have a chance to close up and maybe make a move for himself.
It's also making it worse for the gap between Mizzo and, well, Jonty. If Jonty does successfully make a pass on Pampernik, that gap is just getting larger, you know. And if Mizzo is deploying the ERS, which he was earlier, he's obviously not now, then Mizzo will just make that gap even bigger. And even if Jonty does pass him, he then has to get a 3-second penalty as well. It's basically just becoming too much for Jonty to handle now. A podium is all he can hope for, and that's if Brownie does pit.
Yeah, that's right. Battle for P9 starting to hot up. Rover is being chased down by Just Chillin', recovering from his earlier spin.
I mean, the gap between Rover and Dennis, whilst it does say 1 lap on my left side, you can see in the graphic on the right, it is much less than that, but still quite a gap. I think that's what, about 10, 11 seconds, maybe 12 seconds? Yeah, thereabouts. Maybe even longer than that, to be honest. Oh, that one helped him. We were just saying earlier how consistent and clean he is, and there's a penalty.
Yeah.
That's uncharacteristic and not good.
Jonty not getting anywhere near as close this time to Pampernik.
I mean, even he's burning that ERS away. Look at that, 24% left, and that's when we go through turn 2. And he's had 2 hard braking zones there, and not really gaining anything from it. So, Jonty feeling the pressure, trying to apply pressure to Pampernik, and it is backfiring. Although Pampernik, I thought that was going to be the end of his race there, honestly. When he ran wide, that curb can very easily kill you. Not as much as the inside curb can there in turn 7, but we're going all right. We're doing okay.
Yeah, Pampernik and Jonty almost identical on ERS. If you can compare that to Mizzo, it's about half of what Mizzo has. Mizzo making it look effortless and only giving up a slight bit of ground to Brownie. I'm starting to think that Brownie's going to take this all the way, you know?
I don't think he can, though. That's my worry. I mean, yeah, 6 laps to go. Those mediums must be crumbling. I mean, Mizzo needs to decide now, around about now, is Brownie actually going to go to the end here? If he is, do I actually need to start pushing? I mean, I'm 18 laps in. I'm only 1 behind him. But if the mediums are feeling pretty comfortable and can keep on going, I'm in a problem. I actually have to pass Brownie to get this win. 2-second gap. What's going wrong?
Mizzo is in a tough spot here.
Oh, Pampernik and Jonty actually came together there. Jonty just came out a little bit wider than Pampernik was expecting. He lost the position as a result of the contact. No damage on either car, but that was a massive code brown there for Pampernik.
Copy taking a position as well. P4 now, and just behind Jonty, and obviously no penalties for him. So net P3 for Copy.
I'd love to be in a P3 position right now. That would be such a good overall run if you're in it. I mean, Pampernik will get that position back on Jonty, so still will end up being P4. Not really lost anything, but, you know, that again, it comes down to the mentality. You've just been in a collision that really wasn't your fault, and you've lost a place physically on the track. Despite the fact you will gain that back later, you are still livid. You are still heated from the situation. You need to clear that mentality. Pampernik looks to be able to do that. Even at such a young age, is still managing to focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, he certainly is an old head on young shoulders. A huge bit of a jump by Brownie there. He lost 0.4 of a second with a little skip in his game. And that is not what you want with such fine margins involved at the end of this race.
I mean, he's at a point now of no return. He has to go to the end now on these mediums because 4 laps is just not, there's no reason to pit now. So Mizzo surely knows I gotta go. And well, look at his ERS. It's now come down quite a considerable amount since what we saw it as earlier. So he's definitely, deploying a lot more to bring it closer to Brownie. And realizing it's go time, it's just apply pressure to Brownie, get him to make mistakes due to the tyre wear being a problem. And I'm seeing Rover just chilling.
3-second time penalty for Pampernik.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, just trying to take the outside line here on Rover. It's not worked out for him. He's really wanting to get these points doubled up if he can, but Rover is holding it well. Just chilling again in a scenario. He's going to have to wait for a mistake from Rover or the home straight.
Yep, and Spicy not too far behind, and Miserable Race might just end up in some points if he's lucky.
If there's a murder, or if there's a suicide, depending on how that pans out. But Pampernik in particular, like you said, having that penalty will now be in a scenario where he can't jump Copy due to any penalties. Obviously, Copy doesn't have any anyway, so he's pretty much loving life as it stands. 6 seconds still for Yonti. It means that Pampernik will be within that gap. It's less of a margin to work with for Pampernik.
And that gap is still coming down. It was just over a second crossing the line. I think it was 1.023. So extremely fine margins as to whether he gets that DRS and gets a huge boost down that main straight. But it's a matter of time, I think.
I mean, I'm going to come back to that in a second, actually, because Just Chillin' is coming up to Rover, and we saw them go side by side through turn 2, turn 3, and I'm not seeing Just Chillin' get anything here. I don't think unless Rover has a really bad entry into this corner, there's no way Just Chillin' gains this position. Gets on the curb, though. There was a potential mistake there, but no, they stay as they are. Anyway, what I was going to say is Mizzo has actually broken that gap down quite drastically now. It's 1.1 between the two, and that's all down to just Mizzo turning the ERS up, applying that pressure through the timings, and Brownie's got a lot to do now. 3 laps to go.
Yeah, an inspired choice by Brownie to pit for those mediums, it seems. I think he started that stint around, what, sort of 12th, 13th? He has gone all the way into what is looking more and more likely to be 25 points. We've got 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
Actually lose his time. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm just keeping an eye on these ERS levels because obviously this is what makes the massive difference. You know, you think ERS is, you know, tiny in comparison, but it actually makes a huge amount of time difference. If you get the ERS mode in the right position at the right time on the track, you can gain so many tenths. Right now, the gap is under a second. In terms of the percentages, it's 18 for Brownie as he comes into turn 7.
Even less for Yonti. He's down on 16%.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. Not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, a couple of people struggling at the end of this race.
I mean, somebody who is struggling is Just Chillin'.
Big,
oh,
yeah, big slide by him. And all that hard work has to be done again, really, to catch back up to Rover and try and make that move.
Oh, well, Rover just gave him a helping hand there. Lost the rear a little bit through turn 6, and he is still alive in P9. The gap is 1.2, but Spicy now, he's been brought into this mix. And like you said, Spicy's in with a chance of getting some points here, especially if people make mistakes. If a murder or a suicide attempt happens, then Spicy will lap that up. But team orders might play into effect.
Into the pits goes Overspeed, not willing to get in front of his teammate, I guess, diving into the pits for some soft tyres.
I mean, I guess you'd have thought that in Brownie's scenario, he'd have been saying to Overspeed, look, actually, just hold him back, please. Just save me. Do anything you can to break that gap even more between me and Mizzo, because 9 tenths is just not a comfortable area for me, especially as that's dropping by the second. And the percentage is so low for Brownie, 10% right now. How is he even driving the car at a decent speed?
And you're looking at the fuel as well. He's still behind on his fuel delta, so it's now or never for Mizzo. I think if he gets within a decent speed, a decent distance on that main straight, Brownie's not going to be able to do anything. And
the remainder of this lap and one more to go.
I think Brownie has hit the cliff with these tyres. Mizzo's gained like half a second this lap so far.
And what could have been had he just gone on to the right strategy. I mean, it's been really good overall anyway. If you look at the stops in a position changes, he is up 6 places. Yepany is the one who's getting the most on 11. But it's just getting scary for Brownie. Surely this is it. Surely Mizzo's going to get him.
Yet.
Here he comes then. DRS wing wide open. ERS on mode 4, the toe. Brownie knows what's coming, and that is the thunder of Mizzo. He's not going to go for the flick here. He's actually going to have to take the cutback of dreams, and he's got it. There is Brownie's mistake. Mizzo up in a race lead, and Brownie knows that was the only opportunity I had to hold him back, and I've lost it.
And look at the gap between these drivers. Yonti has dropped 3.5 seconds to Brownie behind now. So Mizzo he must have flicked a switch, because he's just moved up another level. Caught Brownie past Brownie, and it looks...
Oh, hold that thought. Yepany and Pampernik going side by side through turn 6. This can only end poorly. Or can it? Because Yepany, I didn't even know that was possible. They're still tangled up together. They're still wheel to wheel, and somehow Yepany and Pampernik have not killed each other as they come into the chicane. It's again going to be side by side, but it is going to be finally Yepany who makes that position stick. P5 after having such a drastic run. 33 laps on these hard tyres for both of these drivers. No, sorry, for Pampernik and Danico. I thought I saw it right, but no, Yepany is much younger. And Pampernik made that look like he was still on the same age tyre as Yepany.
I don't think I have any words for that. And doing what Lewis Hamilton couldn't do in real life for Max Verstappen, round the outside of turn 4, that is beyond description. Mizzo taking the win, Brownie taking a really well-deserved P2. Definitely my driver of the day, I would say.
Yeah,
Copy
definitely.
Yonsi, Yepany, Pampernik, Danico, Dennis, and waiting for Rover to cross the line. It looks like he is going to take P9 as opposed to just chilling. Spicy, very close, but not able to get a point. He's P11,
Well,
and
take that back.
oh, he does, yeah, on penalty, yep. Right.
And Bika being the last
Poor
of the
old Bika.
runners to make it.
Yep.
What a Grand Prix that was. I mean, they say this track is one of the hardest tracks to overtake. Do you want to tell these guys that? They made that look so simple. Pampernik and Yepany going side by side throughout, what, 3 or 4 corners there on this entire circuit? On the hardest area, arguably. Like, they made that look so simple, so easy. And here we are then, Bika finally to the line. That's the end of the Grand Prix, and he goes out in the same style he started the race in.
That's the end of his Haas career as well, I think. Breaking $1 million car. But
Yeah, Gunther Steiner will not be happy with him for doing that,
yeah,
that's for sure.
You know, you see how he is when he breaks a door. Breaking a
Yeah.
car. Let's see.
It's a no-go. But here is the rundown at the end of that Grand Prix. It is Mizzo who does get a very well-earned, a very hard-fought P1 with Brownie, who did again very well. Started in P7, managed to work his way up and down the field and back up again, up to P2, as Copy finishes the final podium position in P3. Yonsi with the penalties knocks himself down into P4. Yepany holds P5 with Pampernik in P6. Danico P7, Dennis P8, Rover P9, and Spicy, the other Mercedes driver, getting the final point position. Just Chillin misses out only just due to his own penalty he achieved, and Bika being the only other driver to finish, as with the DNFs were Overspeed, Rainbow, Camille, Luke, Penthalox, and Max, who hit the wall pretty hard.
Yeah, I think everyone might feel a little bit lucky that Come had that problem with his game. We're not sure what that was, but definitely affected him after that. I think a second safety car restart. He was not the same driver at all. And
No.
yeah, what could have been for him, I think, it would have been very close between these top 3.
Well, that's the end for the European Racing Series. Only one final question for you, Fosse. Have you decided and settled on who your driver of the day is? Was it Brownie?
Brownie. What a drive.
Yeah, fair play. I'm actually going to give it to Yepany. Starting P17, jumping up to P5. That is a huge leap on a track so difficult like this. Very well deserved. That is it for the European Racing Series. We're back again next week where we are racing in, I believe, Belgium. If I've got my tracks correct, I think I have.